Hi everyone, we're going to do a mini lecture on the consumer decision-making process. This is covered in chapter 6 of the text. And one of the key things I want you to think about is the decision-making process, social classes, and Maslow's hierarchy. And I'm going to talk about all three of them. In this first video clip, we're going to talk about the consumer decision-making process. And as I'm talking about this, I want you to think about how you yourself make decisions about what products you purchase. Okay? Now, there is a process people go through, and sometimes they go through it in a more rapid succession, and other times they take a little longer to make their decisions. But it always starts with one thing which is called recognizing your needs. Need recognition. Once we recognize that we have a need for something, such as, for example, let's consider a home purchase. You get married and you want to purchase a home for you and your spouse to live in. You recognize that you have a need for a place to live. Okay? So what happens at this point is that you begin the second step of the decision-making process, which is an information search. And when you are searching for information, you're going to use a lot of different sources. You're going to use sources such as internal sources of information, such as where do I personally want to live, what kind of home do I want to live in, do I prefer to live in a city or in the country or maybe the suburbs. Those are decisions that you're going to look for internal to yourself. But then there's also external sources of information, and that would be maybe doing research online about crime rates, school systems, taxes, home prices. So you have many different places where you look for these. Internal is, again, information that is based basically on your own values, belief systems, your own culture, your own desires, and you also have the external, which are things that may help you in making a decision, because this is going to be surrounded around information you gather from external sources such as databases, online information, statistics. And again, we're dealing all of this with the home, buying a home. Okay? And if you were doing something different, such as buying a car, okay, not an artist, you might have a different type of search. Your need might be that your car broke down, and that's your need recognition. Or it might be that you've gotten a new job that you're going to be taking clients around. So driving a pickup truck might not be as sophisticated as maybe getting a sedan. Okay? So what happens at this point is after you gather all your information, you're going to evaluate all the data. Evaluate the information that you have collected. And in doing this, what you are going to do is start comparing and saying, well, you know, I want to live in the country, but the houses and the taxes are low, but it's too far away from my work. It's going to take me too long to get to work. So you might make different adjustments in your actual decision based on evaluating all the different information you've collected. Look at the car model. The car model might be, I want a sedan, but is it realistic? Can I afford a Mercedes versus a Toyota? Okay, so depending on the different information that you've gathered here, as you evaluate it, it's going to impact the actual purchase that you make. Okay, and at this point, you actually make the purchase. You're going to buy your house. You're going to buy your car, depending on all the steps that precede that. And finally, the last thing that happens is you have what is called post-purchase behavior. Post-purchase. And this is when you actually evaluate the decision that you made. Was it a good one? Do you like the car? Do you like the home? If you purchase a house and after you've moved in and you realize that the foundation is bad or the well has run dry and you need to drill a new well, that could be a problem. Or maybe you, instead of a house, you decided to rent an apartment in Manhattan, but it turns out to be a bad neighborhood. Those could impact your post-purchase evaluation. Now, there is a term that sometimes is associated with the post-purchase, and that is called cognitive dissonance. Sometimes people have what is called buyer's remorse, especially with cars, especially when it's your first car purchase that you have, where you might evaluate it and you start feeling a little bit of remorse. Why did I buy that house? Why did I commit to that mortgage? Why did I commit to a 5-year loan on a Mercedes when I really should have gotten a Toyota? So at each one of these stages, marketing plays a very important role. In order to generate need recognition, especially for purchases that aren't life-changing, like a house, we need to advertise. We need to make sure people are aware of our products. And a lot of times, marketing drives the need recognition. Okay? Think about vacations. If you see vacations advertised, cruises online. I don't necessarily need a vacation, although right now I feel like I might. But let's say that I see this cruise and suddenly say, you know what? My next vacation, I'm going to go on a cruise. The advertising triggered it. Okay? Then I start doing information. Well, I better be able to, as a marketer, put information in places where people are going to be able to find it. The internet is a great example of pushing information out to people. How do you advertise on the internet? What websites is your information posted at? If it's just your website, Carnival Cruise Lines, versus vacation spots and other magazines that might have articles about cruises, then you're missing a big potential market. In addition, in evaluating the data, you need to be available for the people to have, if they have any questions. They might have questions about the cruise lines, the prices, what are the point of departures, okay? What's included in the cruise line, what activities are online. So those are things that you also want to be aware of as a marketer to have available to the people, the potential consumers. Purchasing, as a marketer, you need to make sure that your product or service is in a place where people can purchase it. If someone out in Idaho wants to do a cruise, you better make sure that you can help them online if you don't have a travel agent in their town. You need to make sure that people can purchase the product as you have been marketing it. And finally, the post-purchase, you often get surveys from customers, or those little cards they put into packages to rate your service or register the product. That's all part of the post-purchase behavior, collecting information so that you can reach out to them and ask them questions about the purchase, and also to help reassure them that they made the right decision. So again, this is all covered on page 74 of the textbook, but it's just a little lecture about this, and I'm going to do another 2 videos, one about social classes and how that fits into all of this, as well as Maslow's hierarchy.